Stop scrolling. I need your attention for just a moment. Because what I'm about to tell you could completely change how you think about pregnancy safety forever. In my practice, I've seen something most people never expect. Healthy pregnancies, no warning signs, no complications, suddenly take dangerous turns. Not because of infections, not because of rare diseases, but because of everyday habits, things people do without even realizing the risk. And the most dangerous part? Nobody warns them about it until it's too late. If you are pregnant right now, or even thinking about becoming pregnant, this may be the most important 3 minutes you watch today. Stop scrolling. I need your attention. This could completely change how you think. Nobody warns them about this. Most people never expect this. After years of working with expecting mothers, there's something I've learned that still concerns me. It's not always infections, not always medical complications, that create risk during pregnancy. In many cases, it's something far more overlooked. The everyday habits people repeat without a second thought. That's what makes this so important. Because what seems normal is often what goes unnoticed. In this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly what most people never get told. I'll break down the silent habits that can increase pregnancy risk without obvious warning signs, the common mistakes expecting mothers make without realizing the impact, and the exact things I immediately advise my own patients to stop or adjust. You may not have heard this explained this way before, but in my experience, these are the details that make the difference. So listen carefully, because this genuinely matters more than most people realize. You may not have heard this before. Something most people never get told. Listen carefully. This matters. What seems normal is often what goes unnoticed. Setting the danger frame, refined. Let me be very clear with you right now. This is not rare. This is not unusual. And this is definitely not something that only happens in extreme cases. These are habits that are happening every single day. In homes, at workplaces, during routines that people believe are completely safe. And here's what makes it more concerning. These habits are often repeated by people who genuinely believe they're doing everything right, because the truth is, the most dangerous patterns in pregnancy are not always obvious. They don't look like emergencies. They don't feel like warnings. They feel normal. And that's exactly why they go unnoticed. So I need you to understand something important. If you recognize even one of the habits I'm about to explain, don't panic, but don't ignore it either. Stay with me until the end, because understanding this could completely change how you approach your daily routine. This is not rare. This happens every single day. It feels normal, and that's the problem. Don't panic, but don't ignore it. Stay with me until the end. Habit number 1, refined. Let's start with the first dangerous habit, ignoring hydration and skipping meals under stress. In my clinic, I hear this more often than you'd expect. Patients sit across from me and say, "Doctor, I've just been so busy lately. I forget to eat. I forget to drink water." And I always pause when I hear that, because during pregnancy, your body is not just your body anymore. It's actively building another human life. Your blood volume increases, your energy demand increases, your hydration needs increase. Everything increases. So when water intake drops, or meals are skipped, the body doesn't just adjust quietly, it responds. With fatigue, dizziness, and weakness. And in some cases, it can interfere with the stable environment your baby depends on. And here's what most people don't realize. It doesn't take extreme dehydration for this to matter. Even mild, repeated neglect over time can build up silently. That's what makes it dangerous. This is more serious than most people think. I see this mistake all the time, not because people don't care, but because life gets busy. But pregnancy is one of those periods where your body cannot afford to be ignored. So if you're listening to me right now, don't ignore what your body is telling you. Drink water consistently, eat regularly, even when you're stressed. This is more serious than most people think. I see this mistake all the time. Your body is building another human life. It doesn't take extreme symptoms for it to matter. Don't ignore what your body is telling you. Habit number 2, refined. Let's move to the second dangerous habit, self-medicating without medical consultation. I completely understand the reason this happens. Headaches, nausea, fatigue, Sleep issues. In those moments, you just want fast relief. You want to feel normal again. But here's where the risk begins. Not all medications are safe during pregnancy. And more importantly, not all medications are safe at every stage of pregnancy. This is something many people don't realize. I've had patients tell me, "Doctor, I didn't think it mattered. It was just a normal painkiller, just something I've used before." But pregnancy changes everything in the body's response. Timing matters. Dosage matters. Even what seems harmless can behave differently in a developing pregnancy environment. And the most concerning part? It's rarely done with bad intention. It's done out of habit, out of familiarity, out of trust in something they've used before. But pregnancy is not the time for assumptions. This is where mistakes happen silently. No alarms, no warning signs, just decisions made too quickly. So I want you to remember this clearly. Never assume something is safe just because it's common. Common does not always mean safe during pregnancy. And if you are unsure about anything, even something small, always check before you act. Not all medications are safe at every stage. Mistakes happen silently. Common does not always mean safe. Never assume it's safe just because it's common. Always check before you act. Habit number 3, refined. Let's talk about the third habit. Disrupted sleep cycles and excessive screen exposure late at night. This is one of those habits that surprises most people because it doesn't feel dangerous. It feels normal. It feels like scrolling your phone at night, watching videos, replying to messages, just trying to relax. But during pregnancy, your body is operating under a very delicate hormonal balance. And that balance is more sensitive than most people realize. When sleep becomes inconsistent, when nights turn into shorter rest cycles, when screen exposure stretches late into the night, the body responds internally. Stress hormones begin to rise, and that shift doesn't stay isolated. It affects overall maternal stability, energy regulation, and the environment the baby is developing in. And the most dangerous part? You often don't feel it immediately. It builds slowly, quietly, over time. No alarm, no sudden warning, just gradual imbalance. This is why I always tell my patients, it's not just about how long you sleep. It's about the quality and consistency of your rest. So if your nights are irregular, or your screen time extends right up to sleep, your body is already adjusting in ways you cannot see. And I want you to remember this. Your body keeps the score. Even when you think nothing is happening, something is. This surprises most people. It feels normal, but it builds up. Your body is operating under a delicate balance. No alarm, just gradual imbalance. Your body keeps the score. Myth-busting segment. Now let me pause here and clear up something very important. Because there's a misunderstanding I see all the time. Many people believe pregnancy risk only comes from big medical problems. Serious infections, major complications, emergencies that you can clearly identify. But in reality, that's not the full picture. Some of the most overlooked risks don't come from big events. They come from small, repeated habits. The kind that don't feel significant in the moment, but build their impact over time. This is why I always explain it to my patients like this. It's not one action that defines risk, it's repetition. Repetition of skipping meals, repetition of poor sleep, repetition of self-medication, repetition of ignoring subtle signals from your body. That's what gradually shapes outcomes. And once you understand that, you stop looking for only big warning signs and start noticing the small patterns that actually matter. This is the truth nobody explains clearly enough, because it doesn't sound dramatic, but it is important. So let's correct this misunderstanding right now. You deserve to know how this really works. This is the truth nobody explains clearly. Small repeated habits matter more than people realize. It's not one action, it's repetition. Let's correct this misunderstanding. You deserve to know this. I don't want this video to scare you. That was never the goal. I want to do the opposite. I want to empower you. Because once you understand what actually matters, once you recognize the habits and patterns we've talked about, you're no longer guessing. You're no longer reacting in fear. You're making informed choices. And that changes everything. Pregnancy is not about fear. It's about awareness. And awareness gives you something very powerful. Control. Control over your daily habits. Control over your decisions. Control over how you respond to your body's signals. And I want you to remember this clearly. Most risks we talked about today are not sudden. They're gradual. And that means they are also preventable. So instead of worrying about what you didn't know before, focus on what you now understand. Because now, you can act differently. You are not powerless in this. You never were. You just needed the right information at the right time. And that's exactly what this is. Knowledge is protection. And protection starts with awareness. So let's take control back, one decision at a time. You are not powerless in this. Knowledge is protection. Awareness gives you control. You just needed the right information. Let's take control back. Before you go, I want to do something a little different. I've shared the key habits with you, but I don't just want this to be information you listen to and forget. I want to make sure I'm communicating it in the clearest way possible, so it actually stays with you. That's why I need your help. I want you to tell me something in the comments. Which of these direct messages hit you the most? Which moment made you stop and think twice? Was there anything you already knew, but never thought about in this way before? Or is there something you still want me to explain more clearly? Because my goal here is simple: to refine how I explain this, so it becomes even clearer for expecting mothers who might need it most. And one more important thing. If even one part of this video helped you understand something differently, or made you more aware of your daily habits, then don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. Sometimes the right information, at the right time, can genuinely change how someone protects themselves and their baby. Which moment hit you the most? Did this change how you think? Be honest, I want your feedback. Something you still want explained clearly. This could help someone you care about. If you found this video helpful, please share it with your friends and family and leave a comment to tell me what you learned. Your support goes a long way in spreading the message and growing this community. Thank you and see you soon.